Hi there, Kim Long with Docha Psychological Services. And it's amazing how vast social media really is. And really, in many ways, it's how we now stay connected with others or get our news. But we don't really think so much about how social media could potentially be creating more anxiety or depression or issues in our lives. And that's kind of the point of this video today. So first, I want to make it clear, this is for educational purposes only. It does not substitute for a therapeutic relationship or medical advice. It's just information to help you out to increase understanding. So again, great article I read. I'm going to be posting the link to that somewhere. The people that are much smarter than me are going to do that. So okay, I gotta be honest right off the bat because I don't think it's fair to do this video without being honest. I have a love-hate relationship with social media. I mean, I use it as part of my business, but I actually actively avoid it. And very much for the reasons that I'm going to share today. I'm getting nervous even just talking about it because this is not a popular view. And it's been hard. Not engaging in social media has really left me very disconnected from watching my nieces growing up and, a lot of what's going on in my friends' lives, because I think that there are issues with boundaries in social media and it creates a lot of problems. But that is a personal opinion. That's my thing. I also see it a lot in my work, so I guess I have some evidence to back that up, but whatever, that's not the point of this video. But I had to put that disclaimer in. I think social media can be a lot of fun and a really great way to stay connected, but when it is overused and when it starts to hurt us, that's when there's an issue. So let's talk about how that happens, since I said that's what the video was going to be about. Okay, focus. All right. So basically, the way social media is designed is it targets the brain's reward center, which is the dopamine center of the brain. It's the feel-good chemical. And the way it does it is much like it does for gambling. So there's always the hint of a future reward. Like, you don't know how people are going to respond to this video. So, maybe you'll get a lot of likes. Maybe I'll get more followers or subscribers, or, so many great things could happen. And maybe it'll be better than my last video in terms of popularity. We don't know. So in that sense, that uncertainty and that possibility of positive reinforcement makes social media very much like gambling, like some sort of addiction. So what are the ways that creates a problem? Because really, if it's not creating an issue in your life, then who cares if it's addictive? Like chocolate. No, I'm kidding. Anyway, the issue kind of comes in when, so in three parts. So the first issue is when it causes comparisons. When we started attaching popularity to sharing content and looking for validation through other people's responses to us to replace perhaps other meaningful connections in our lives. So we distance ourselves from real life and stay in this social media world. But there's a lot of safety. I wanted to say cockiness, but safety in the people that post comments in social media, because you don't have to look that person in the face and say something hurtful. Instead, you can just type it on your keyboard. So then when you look for validation through these sources and the response that you get is very negative, It can increase depressive symptoms or cause more anxiety before you post the next time, but you need to post the next time because you need to see whether or not you're accepted or validated, or, and this leads us to part 2, you don't want to miss out. That fear of missing out, missing some sort of experience by not posting online. So you feel compelled to post, even though it's not necessarily always received well, and you're opening yourself up to rejection. And then lastly, the other way that social media can increase anxiety or depressive symptoms is because everything is filtered. Like, even before they had some of the really wicked, awesome filters, and believe me, I've tried some of them on TikTok. They're really cool. I like that old Hollywood makeup one. Just saying. Anyway, but there's this, and I do it for fun, right? But there's this distorted view of reality that we start to get from social media, where back in the day, it was just you filtered out which picture you would post, and you always made it look amazing. Now there's all these lighting things you can do, and like really it's like Photoshop but easy, to make you look different than what you look like. So we, as young adults, teenagers, and older adults, let's be honest, we see these images and there's no way we could ever live up to them. So it becomes this competition of how can I filter myself to look like I fit in and I'm accepted and I'm validated and I'm engaging in this experience. And yet at the same time, in my real life, I know that's not me. And so it's a real denial of self. And that hurts our souls. It's basically, not only do we hear other people telling us that we are potentially not good enough or that we need to change something, but we start to tell that to ourselves. And as I'm sure you know, we are our own worst critics. So nobody could say anything to us that we probably haven't said to ourselves at one point in time or another. So there is a huge vulnerability that comes with posting on social media, that could really affect our mood, especially when we do it a lot. So that's my spiel. That's how social media can potentially affect mood disorders, among other things. And so what I'd really like to do is, in another video to come later, is maybe talk about some strategies for how to combat it. Because let's be real, social media isn't going anywhere. But we also need to be responsible and healthy with it so that you live the best life that you can live, that is truly fulfilling for you. So anyway, we'll do another video later on talking about strategies for how to deal with it. I will somehow post the article or post the link to the article. And in the meantime, I just hope you love yourself for just who you are. You know, you don't have to be society's perception of what is perfect, because perfect is actually imperfect. What makes you uniquely you is so beautiful and so special and so needed. It's so needed, because if we were all the same, how boring would that be, right? So just love you and everything about you, because that is enough for anyone. And if anybody tells you it's not, I'll let you fill in that blank, because the comment I have there is probably unprofessional. They can get stuffed. Let's leave it with that. Anyway, I'm going to get off my soapbox now, but you are wonderful, and take care of yourself. Bye for now.